Pre-shift, definitely today, I think we saw an improved service. The pace was on, the communication was there, all the little details that we talked about. We've been talking a lot about thoughtfulness, and there's so many parts of thoughtfulness that we have. It's getting the taxis for our guests, it's having the guests' valets pulled around, it's all the small little touches. Let's make sure we're also being considerate to our teammates. Thoughtfulness also extends into making sure that we're taking down those tables for lunch service when something's taking a little bit too long, or when you sense that maybe the guest is sensing it's taking too long. Don't wait to that point where it is too long. I'm certain that every chef would be delighted if you asked to see that ticket before you run the food. It's one of those nights, so many birthdays, so many anniversaries, so it's going to be a really good time tonight at dinner. Anything, service notes, anything anyone would like to add? Donnie, anything you'd like to add? Sure. Donnie? I do want to add something. Be present at your tables and with your guests. Our hospitality is our greatest quality. I brought some notes, just like Bobby did. We share similarities. I'm also dyslexic and I have ADD, so I'll pair off and I'll look. But I thought that I would start here. Some friends of mine came in our home, Estelle and my home, and they filmed us. And I said, just film us the way we are, and so I can share it with everyone today and share the vulnerability, because I think it's important to give you a little bit of a reference about where I came from and how I got here. I came here from a friend, Andy Colmer, who know the Cantless brothers, Mark to be exact, and he said, I'm going to this welcome conference 2 years ago. And I sat in that audience thanks to Mark Cantless, who got me invited here 2 years ago. And Anthony and Will have become friends of mine, and I believe I've become friends of theirs as well. And just the stories that I saw unfold in the last 3 years were incredible. Not only just the stories that people spoke about, but what I took away from the Welcome Conference in the last 2 years. So I thought I would hopefully have some sound bites today, one being the word welcome, which we use in the restaurant every day, because I believe it allows everyone that comes into our restaurant to relax. Instead of saying, hello, how are you? Can we help you? We say welcome, and I believe that lets their guards down. It's incredible to be here, and I'm grateful to be here and have this opportunity to speak for a little bit, and hopefully I can get through this without being too emotional, because I probably will. The first time I really heard "be present" was from my beautiful wife, Estelle, who said it to me, 10, 15, 20 times, and me being such a busy guy on my phone and on my computer and emailing and talking and trying to make reservations or getting text messages and people needing my assistance to get into one of the restaurants. She said, can you be present? And I said, yeah, I am present. I'm here. I'm right here. And she said, no, you're not. So I'll come back to that, but I think I need to, like Anthony said, talk a little bit about lineage and how I got in the restaurant business for a minute, and then I can bring it back and talk about being present. I'm an only child, and when you're an only child, you think the world revolves around you and what you do and how you do it. So I was raised by my mother, single mom, and her twin sister, Rita. My mother's name is Clara. And I think it's important to celebrate them here today because they gave me a beautiful gift of being hospitable and the importance of being hospitable, not just in the restaurants, but in our home. And I watched them through my early years and into my teens, and I watched them take care of people, not just friends, but their older brothers and sisters that they took care of years on as they got sick. And they both only had a fourth grade education, but what they did was they had incredible focus, and their focus was to be determined on taking care of people and taking care of family. And to tell another story, I think I was 12 or 13 years old. I just came back from playing baseball. I loved playing baseball. I played in high school. I played all the way in, if I could, finish high school. But anyway, there was a big family gathering, and my cousin Mickey was getting married, and it's my Aunt Rita's daughter, and she had getting married to an Irish man, and he had a big family, I think all in 6, 7 kids. And out of the six or 7 kids that were there were 2 mentally challenged children, older than me. And they sat in, one of them sat in the chair that I sat in every day for dinner. And I was like, whoa, that's bad. That's my chair. And my mom pulled me aside and pulled me in the bedroom, and she just talked to me really nice, and she said, you know, you have to learn to share things, you know. And at that time I really didn't get it, but as I continue the story, I'll think everyone will get it. And several months later, these 2 boys figured a way to get back to my mother and my aunt's house. And they knocked on the door, and my mother and my aunt were surprised, but they welcomed them in, and they sat them down, and they fed them. And I always remember this story because they walked, I don't know how many miles, say 6, 7, 8 miles, but they found their way to my mother and aunt's home. And I carry that story with me because it's so relevant for me to be here, because through osmosis and watching them, even though I was this dyslexic kid and I was troubled in school and barely made it out of high school, they showed me a profession that they were masters at, but they really didn't get paid for it. They just did it out of love. And that love was given to me. And it's so interesting because Bobby says that he fights and he struggles with not being in the restaurant. I struggle every day because I find myself being managed by emails and being managed by the barrage of emails that come or text message. But I can't be connected because, like an article I read about one of my idols here, Drew Neamparant, I believe it was in the Town and Country magazine several years ago, he mentions in the article on how he starts his day. He's got 2 phones. I think one's for personal and one's for business. And he starts his day by managing the request that his friends and acquaintance and people that know him or through a friend, he manages that phone by taking care of people. And I said, whew, that's me. That's what I do. I do exactly what the great Drew Neamparant does. That's what I do. And my wife would say, put the phone away. Spend some time with your family. And I say, yeah, I am, but I got this ATOP. They need to get into the restaurant. And she would say, yeah, but you can take care of that in an hour. So thanks to my wife, Estelle, the first thing I do in the morning, not only she's beautiful, smart, but she manages my posture as well, because I just want to show you something. Take a look at this. I don't know if you saw it there, but how'd you like to do this all day? How's my posture? You like that? Well, she'll take a photograph of me over my phone, and she'll save it for later that night when I come home from work, and she'll go, take a look at that. You like that? That's how you look. You know, I got a bunch of stats here. I think I'm on time. 207 million phones in 62 million phones were sold, users in 2010. 210 million as of 2016. In 2019, they predict in the U.S. there'll be 300 million users. So just imagine how many emails, text messages, Facebook, Twitter, Google Docs, Instagram. I have 12 Instagrams. 8 of them are of my son. He put his shoes next to he put his Adidas next to my Chuck Taylors, and I sent that was one of my Instagrams, probably my 9th. I have 12. I don't Facebook. Unfortunately, I can't. I can't hardly manage the emails I get, and I'm not the busiest guy in the room. There's busier men and women in this room than I am. I don't know how anyone does it, because being present is an art, because being connected is a disconnect. And my wife taught me that. He teaches you a lot. Last year, I saw Anthony. I'm going to channel him for a minute. I saw Anthony get so honest with his wife and apologize for not picking up the phone when she called when he was on the floor. I think everyone in this room had that opportunity, right? Pick up the phone and answer it because it's your wife or your girlfriend. And with a son, he's 3, he's in the other room, Bronson. The phone really doesn't matter, either through the emails or the text messages, of course. I want to take care of my guest every day, but then again, the importance of my son and my wife supersedes any text message. So how do you do it, Donnie? What do you do? Like, you get 100, 250 emails a day, 20, 30, 40, 50 text messages? You're a busy guy, right? I rode an elevator down in a hotel room last week. Young man was probably 22, 23 years old. He had 3 components in his hand. He had a cell phone with a supercharger, looked like that thick. He had an iPad Pro, right? Is that what it's called, iPad Pro? And then he had an Air book, and he was carrying him like his books. He just got out of school. And I thought to myself, I went, how busy is he? Can he really be that busy? And the struggle is, thanks to my wife, and it's hard for me to admit this because, like, if someone calls me and said Danny Meyer's at Blackbird with his daughter at lunch, I'm at Nico. I get in my car and I run over there, right? Fast. It's Danny Meyer. Anybody, Drew Neapront, whoever, Will, Anthony. My job is to be there. It's not to be at another place at another time in another restaurant. It's to be at my restaurant. Blackbird's going to be 19 years old. If I live, or my son, for my son to know how proud the Canlis boys are of their mother and father, or Will's dad, who I get a chance to meet last night and walk back to the hotel and hear a story. And then Anthony's mother's here today. And if I live for my son to be so proud of me as your sons and of you, the Canlises, man, that's a blessing. So how important is that guy with the 3 components or contraptions or how many million cell phones? You know, I have something to share with you. Think about this. This is it, man. This is the thing, the contraption. Losing your smartphone can cause the internal experience of 5 stages of grief. You ready for this? Right? Are you ready for this? This is truth. It's the Koebel-Ross model, 1969. Denial, then anger, bargaining. Oh, I can fix it. It'll put it in rice. It'll be okay. It'll come back. And then you're depressed. Oh, fuck, my phone. Now I can't get that reservation for Drew Neoperant. He's never going to come to my restaurant. And then finally, the 5th sense, acceptance. Okay, the phone, it's dead. It's broke. It cracked. It's trashed. I can't get it. But guess what? I don't ever want to go through that. I don't ever want to experience those 5 things. But it happens. You ever misplace your phone? Yeah, right? You thought, oh shit, now what do I do? I got a busy day because I'm a busy guy and I can't be without my phone. I really can't be without my phone. Well, my aunt, my mom, this little conversation's a celebration of their life. Unfortunately, my mom didn't get a chance to see that 18-and-a-half-year-old restaurant, but she did give me something special. She taught me hospitality. She taught me the true meaning of hospitality, take care of people. She also gave me the seed money to open that restaurant. And in that 15 months of trying to open a restaurant and try to get money and didn't have enough money and build it and do whatever it takes to open it, that cell phone and those emails, they really weren't important. There was one important thing. Get the restaurant open, make it the best 69-seat restaurant you've ever seen in your life, invite guests in, hopefully they come, and take care of them and treat them like you really mean it and really, really welcome them. I'll leave one more quote and then I'll be done. And I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Will and Anthony for inviting me here. I want to thank Andy for introducing me to Mark. I want to thank everyone that was here before me that talked because I've learned something, self-other instead of selfish. I've learned something from everybody that came up here and spoke. At the speed that our busy life moves today has made many things incomprehensible. We are always on our smartphones to keep us at arm's length from every important interaction, which is the human experience. A phone call. Hey, Anthony, how's your wife? How's your beautiful daughter? Hey, Will, thank you so much for inviting me here. I can't wait to hear the Canlises speak and tell me a story about the importance of the sacred door that I learned from you 2 years ago. And then last but not least, I love you.